Welcome back to the Beat 139. I'm Doc.
I'm Don Vito. How y'all doing? What's up?
Welcome back, folks, and I'm Callie, and we'd like to welcome our second guest of the night, former Blood YouTube sensation, OG Stakkstone.
What up, Stack? Welcome to the show, man.
Welcome, OG.
Welcome.
I like that outfit you got on,
Yeah, that's a
champ.
mean outfit there.
Wow.
You know?
So, OG.
Yeah, it's Harlem, man. We like to see, coming through and all that,
You know
man.
what? You know what? Harlem always been known for swaggy stuff, so I had to get swaggy
There it is.
just to represent Harlem. If not, I would have came up here grungy with my hat low and
Right.
some gold fronts. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
with a little do-rag on the
Yeah,
something,
the
huh?
do-rag on the sun. I had to do a Harlem way.
All right,
appreciate
smooth,
you, man.
You smooth, brother. But question.
Can we start from the beginning?
We know you grew up in Brooklyn. Are you still in Brooklyn? Let me do what I do, Doc.
No, go ahead.
So are you still? We know you from Brooklyn. Do you still reside there?
Yeah, that's still my community.
Okay.
Brownsville never ran, never will, huh?
I moved out of Brownsville, but you know what I'm saying? You can't stay in Brownsville, bro. I mean, Brownsville's like having a tour of duty. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You got to have your tour and you got to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So where did you get the name Stakkstone?
Oh, well, the diamond at the back came from, my affiliation or prior affiliation. But Stack came from, my name used to be Stack a Dollar, but it changed.
Stack a dollar. I remember that, man. It's
Yeah.
a book or something, right?
Well, it was a book.
Yeah.
I was inspired by that book.
Right,
too,
yeah. I read that book, Stack a dollar.
Definitely one of the gems that you read while you're in prison, Stack a Dollar. Was one
Yeah,
of them.
absolutely. College, huh? Okay.
So we want to go to the beginning. We always like to go to the beginning, people, your upbringing. Can you touch on your upbringing growing up in Brownsville?
Well, I grew up in multiple places in Brooklyn, so I got roots all over. That's why a lot of people really know me. That's why when I started doing my videos, people knew because I was in a lot of different sections. So originally I was from Brownsville in East New York. So those two places I had roots to early in my early days, and then my mom's moved to Flatbush. And then I kept going back and forth because I didn't really like Flatbush at the time. I still had project genes in me. If people know about, if you lived in the projects, it's a certain rhythm that you love about it, you know what I'm saying? That you could always go back to it and blend in there.
Right. So you spent a lot of time in prison.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in prison going through, as an adolescent, I was going back and forth.
Right.
So when did that all start?
Really when I was 14, 13.
Okay, you went to Spofford and all that type of stuff?
Yeah, I went to Spofford. I had to learn a lesson. My mom's left me in there one time. And I was like, wow, how could you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I learned my lesson. And she was like, nah, boy, you got to stay. But my aunt came and got me. But it was rough. Spofford was way up in the Bronx on Spofford Avenue. And the whole ambiance of it was like melancholy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the walls was institutional, gray, dark, yellowish and all that. And, it was just like a bad environment for a young boy, you know what I mean?
And what was your first offense?
A robbery
At 13.
at 13 in Manhattan, yeah. So it was always a thing to go to Manhattan and go to Midtown.
It went snatch pockets,
Yeah,
hit the
snatch
jewelry
the
store, break
pockets,
windows,
yeah.
how it went down.
Yeah, that's how it went down. That's the inspiration. That's what Brooklyn was raised like. Yo, Manhattan, Midtown, Mid. They used to call it Mid.
42nd Street, the Deuce.
Well, the Deuce, we used to go, like, when the events be at the Deuce, and then we used to go, like, show off our riches from lower in the mids. Like, then we'd take our pictures on the wall, the infamous wall.
Yeah.
I'm from that era. I was growing up in that era, like, and I was looking for my identity at that time.
You ain't play any sports?
Yeah, I was definitely a sports head. I was football and basketball. I could have been, like, boxing and all that, but crack, I hit the crack era in '86.
Yeah, the
I was
crack.
at 13, you just went that way.
Well, 13, I went to locked up in Jersey. My first, after Spofford, my mother, I came and went back to my mom's, and then I kept doing delinquent stuff, you know what I'm saying? End up doing a robbery in New Jersey, and end up going to, I caught a robbery in Elizabeth, New Jersey. I stuck up a hotel. I got 3 years. I ain't come home till I was 17. And then from there, Jersey was rough because I was locked up with, dudes from Newark, Patterson, Passaic, and they all know how to box real good, so I had to fight every day. And that taught me how to fight. So when I came home from that situation, I was real nice with my hands, and I went to high school boxing and playing ball. And then I could have been to like in the pros or something in football or at least boxing, but you know, crack was there.
So you ain't ever participated in the Golden Gloves, anything like that?
Nah, I couldn't. My mom took me out of boxing after a minute because of the headaches. I was getting migraines after them, like real bad migraines. Like my brain was shaking. Even though that's why I give respect to boxers. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to be in like top condition, and your brain got to be good. And then I ain't want to be like couldn't my speech be slurred and all of that. So I stopped boxing.
So when you was incarcerated, is that when you joined the gang, when you became a blood, to find like some type of brotherhood within the walls?
No, I wasn't really trying to find no brotherhood at that time. I was I was in the midst of a situation, like a circumstance. I was in C95. You know, I wasn't trying to look for something to become of anything. I never was that type of person.
Right.
But once I committed to it, it was like it was too late type
But
of
what
thing.
made you commit?
Oh, I got locked up. While I was leaving, I had two separate bids. My first bid was in 93, and I got out on like parole, and I was like hearing the stories about Bloods, and I was going out, but I was like, Bloods? What y'all talking about? Some like niggas with some jerry curls and fucking flannel jackets and shit. So it was like I couldn't process it. So I was like, yeah, whatever. And then immediately I caught a new charge. I stuck up again, you know what I'm saying, with the stick-ups. I was playing police at this time. I had badges and all of that. So I used to have handcuff badges, bulletproof vests and all that. And I used to go around doing that for a minute. It's lucrative. I ain't had to go out for long periods of time. So one particular time I got caught doing a robbery in like Midtown again in like the garment district. I caught that robbery and went back in, and then that's when you started hearing like where the Bloods was at in a certain part of Rikers Island. And then I was like, well, I ain't even worried about that. I'm worried about trying to bail out. My mindset was trying to bail out. I wasn't trying to get involved with the gang culture because you have to adapt a certain mindset when you go to Rikers Island. You have to shift. I wasn't trying to shift yet. I was trying to bail out. So my mindset was get on the phone, call my girl at the time, give me this bail money, the parole's getting ready to drop on me. So my mindset wasn't, yo, let me get the phone and all of that.
To the environment,
I wasn't trying to do all of that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was trying to, yo, let me get to a phone, let me get this money to get bailed out for the parole hold drop. So when I got into the house in C95, it was oppressed. Like the Latin Kings had this shit locked. Like you couldn't even breathe in this house. But I knew somebody from the East, the Bamas, the projects I'm from. He was like, Stack and all that. So he knew me. He was like, yo, Stack, yo, I'm gonna let you get on the phone and all that. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. But I didn't notice the oppression until after, like when I came back from court. Then I knew I was staying. I shifted gangster after that. When I knew I was committed to jail, then I seen the oppression. I was like, this shit can't happen here. So I made a move. Like it was like that. That's when I blooded it.
And did you join the Bloods because, like you said, the Latin Kings had shit on lock, and you know the Latin Kings is Spanish. You know what I'm saying? And when you in jail, like the Spanish dudes don't get along with the black dudes in most cases. So you figure you had to get with the brothers, and the brothers was blood, so y'all can, you know, get this house under control some type of way.
Right. So when I came back from court, now when you come back from court, you go through things. So I knew I was staying for a long haul. My parole officer was at court. You know, he knew I was staying. He was dropping a hold on me. So now I was like, all right, I'm gonna be facing a long time. Like this was my fourth felony. I'm like, I know I'm not really coming back out. So now I was angry. I came back and I seen the oppression. That morning, they was like, a luxury in Rikers Island at the time was Frosted Flakes. They give you 2 boxes every now and then in the morning. So if they take those, then they was taking them from the black dudes. So I was like, yo, that's it.
How they was taking? You be taking?
To take the whole box.
And
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
no cereal for the black dudes.
No cereal for the black dudes, no juice, whatever they wanted, like it comes to the house first.
Right.
So whatever they want to do, they do it. And you can't watch. And at that time, I think Martin was out. They was telling people you can't watch Martin. And they had it on Telemundo. Like the whole joint was locked down. It was like Spanish.
Wow.
C95 was San Juan. They ain't lying when they say that.
Right.
Because they know you go there for methadone.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like that. And to be honest with you, Spanish dudes, they was playing with them knives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
know they play with knives, heavy.
Right.
So you got to be on point. So you got to strike first and you got to keep it moving. So
Right.
that's what it was.
Damn. All right. So now you there, and you get blood in. You asked to, or they asked you to come home. How that went?
Well, at that time, you going ahead, so boom. So it was a couple of dudes that was in the building at the time. They used to come down from court. Killer Kev was one of them, and Mark Cross was the other one, Hellraiser. They was in the building. They name ring bells. I roll with that movement. I put in work in my house. We go to wherever we go to, receiving room. I put in more work. I get my jaw broken by the police, stitched up, all in the head. Go to a different location because they don't take you right to the box. Then when I go to the box, that's where it's all at. That's where all the bloods is at. Like Killer Kev said, you can't stay in population. So you go to the pound, and that's when Killer Kev and them came in under, they was the first tour. I was the second tour of Bloods, and we came in under the pound. They came in the HDM. They was in like 1A, 1B block, and it was only like, what, a couple of tiers and cells all the way down. But when you get, it was started getting so big, it was ubiquitous. You know what I'm saying? It was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So when you got to the pound, it was one building and it was shaking when they roll called. It was epic. It was like, yo, am I living in this situation right now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the chains, and then everywhere you go, the fully restraints, it started, messing with your psyche. It started messing with my psyche.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everywhere you go, fully restraint. And then adapt into that environment, and then the things you had to do is like primitive, carrying things in your ass and coming out the cuffs and, getting handcuff keys and putting your wife under pressure to bring the stuff on the visit. It was like, it was rough. It was
But
like,
what you mean you can't stay in population, though?
you can't.
Because the Latin Kings was holding down?
You got to put in work. You
Right.
was outnumbered. How you gonna stay?
Right. So, but why all the Bloods was in there and the Latin Kings wasn't in the box?
All right, boom. When he mean you can't stay,
Right.
if you stay in population at that time,
Oh, at that time,
that means you living with your enemies.
you got a problem. Right.
How you can live with them? You
Yeah.
can't.
Right,
That's
right.
why you stayed in the box, and most of your work was put in from court, going to court. Those court pens. So if you was in those different court pens, that's what people was doing there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
catching,
saying?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way you catch them. Everybody just mixed up. So now you doing your thing. So I know you're an author. You started your journey then, or?
Nah, in the box actually. When I went to solitary, that's when I got the awakening. Like, yo, this is like kind of like I gotta get out of this, man. You know what I'm saying? Cause it was 9/11, and I was getting transferred from one box to another, and I started feeling like, yo, I gotta, my mind state gotta change. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't die in here like that.
Yeah, I saw you doing live. You seem so at peace, and like my song we sang earlier, like that change. That change feels so good.
Yo,
When you,
He reformed, man.
yeah, that
Yo,
reform
yeah,
is like the
reform.
best.
Yo, I
Yeah.
swear to God, when my son was speaking, it felt like he was speaking a breath of my breath, because the same thing he feel, you don't preach, that's the same way I feel. It's like you have to go your course,
Right.
and you can't prevent your course, either it's bad or good. You have to go through that to live out your fate, your destiny. You understand? Like, everybody got to do it. It's like your fate is sealed already. We just living out the moments, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Getting to the end. So everything is necessary. Even the controversy, things that happen, it's necessary. It's like necessary evil. So you got to go through it to get to a point.
Exactly.
And
So
that's what
you
I've
at the
been through.
point right now where you reformed and you giving back.
Yeah, I've been home 13 years giving back. I got a lot of babies out here, a lot of
Yeah.
jewels. Yo, I interviewed one of my pups. His name was Smart Guy.
Yeah.
So he one of my babies. When he came home, I was working as a reentry specialist, in the Calm Alert program for reentry for people that come out of prison, because
Right.
I had got the blueprint to stay out. So I used to work for GMAC too as well. Shout out to Shandu, shout out to Trife.
Right.
I used to work for him, and that allowed me to get experience going back inside the prisons. So yeah, I got some dudes that I really help shape their minds and give them the wisdom that I didn't have. You know what I'm saying? So
Coming up.
yeah.
So that's like the best feeling you have more than receiving money, right?
Yeah, it's gratification. Like the brother was saying, my son, it's like you don't do it for money. You know what I'm saying? It's you feel good when people say, yo, thanks, Stack. Yo, you was the dude that, you know what I'm saying, hit me with the jewel that kept me focused. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all it is jewels. Right. Like he said, we not preachers. I'm not a preacher. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not a preacher. I'm your big brother, your big homie for real that really could tell you, listen, it's going to be hardships. Like the homie's not telling you how themselves be cold.
Yeah. It's titled The Love Movement right here, huh? Titled The Love Movement. I feel you, man. I feel you. Let it out, man.
No, you can let it out. It's all right.
Yeah, we understand, man.
Themselves be cold.
Yeah.
Cold. They feel like they taking your soul.
Yeah.
Like it's like certain times I felt like yo, you don't want to live, but you don't want to kill yourself, but you just want to sleep it off.
Right.
To sleep the time away. But when you first get the time in solitary, you locked up twice. You locked up in prison, and you locked up in that shit.
Right.
And it's primitive in some of those boxes.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question though, right? Because I see you feeling it right now, all the pain you went through, and you remembering. You know what I'm saying? You're appreciative about how you reformed and you changed, but what point in your life did you say, yo, I got to do something about this, man? You know, you understand what I'm saying?
It was solitary confinement when I caught the new charge in Elmira. And I put my life on the line. You know what I'm saying? I caught the new charge, and I was like, yo, I didn't even know they was giving me the new charge. I went to the box. They gave me the 30 months at first. And then I'm in the box, and then they come to my cell like, yo, pack your stuff. You're going back down to court. I thought they was taking me to child support or something. You know what I'm saying? They pull you down to court to Rikers Island to get a break from upstate. So I was like, yo, nah, they taking you to Chemung County. I was like, what, Chemung? That's Elmira. That means they charging me? They was like, yeah, they charge you. I'm like, damn. So I'm like, yo, God, you bugging, yo? You know I was supposed to get out in 2004. Yeah. I just did a whole dime. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I got people waiting for me. You know what I'm saying? What's up? And that was a hard lesson.
So how did you go about your transition from, we know you no longer a blood, so usually, you know, they say once you in a gang that you can't get out. So how did you get yourself out of that?
Well, that's like, I mean, you can listen to that myth if you want, but I think it's certain. I'm like a retired. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm affiliated with like a retirement. You know, it's not like I found God. I wasn't really thinking about I'm like scared. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that type of situation. When I came out the box, I had 30 Bloods in church. Right. And they thought I was having meetings down there, and it wasn't that. It was these gang members was looking for direction. Right. They was looking for God. You know what I'm saying? They was looking for some spiritual guidance. Right. So, change as well. Change, actually, they was. So maybe God have me reach them in the ways that a regular pastor can't. Right. So that's what maybe he has intended for me.
So moving forward, right? After all of your experience in prison and you know, the gangs and stuff like that, and growing up as a young kid going through, you know, in and out of prison, you turn into a YouTube sensation, bro. Oh, you know what I mean? You got the movement, the love movement. I'm reading you got to build up to 10 million viewers, man. 10 million viewers is a lot of viewers, man. Yeah. So you doing, you like you said, you went through all that to get where you at now, and you survived, and you looking good, champ. All the stuff you've been through, you looking good. I don't even know you've been through all that. Yeah. You stood tall, man, all the way. You should be proud of yourself. Yeah. That everybody got to go through something sometime to get to this. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be little bumps here and there to get to that. You know, I had my bumps. Doc had his bump. Cali had. We all had our bumps, but we still standing tall. So, I mean, God got a plan for us, man. Facts. And now you giving back. You let me shorties know whether they want to hear it or not. It's a better way, man. You know, and I'm here to talk to you. I'm not a preacher, but I want to help you, man. You know, definitely. And this is what's up. Got 10 million viewers, bro. That's big.
So how that come about? Like to piggyback with V just said with the YouTube.
Yo, to be honest with you, it was like randomly. I was like drinking Henny one day, and it was a situation I was talking about one particular rapper, and it just spiraled from there. And people started asking me about these stories because I got certain stories that I know, certain rappers that I grew up with, like AZ, and then I know certain things. Like it was like I had a wealth of information from history, like because I'm older, so I was here since the birth of hip hop. I seen it come, so I know what good music is, and I got an ear for music. So I got into the YouTube, started talking about music and talking about different events in my life, and it just took off. People was telling me, yo, you kind of compelling, people really listen to what you say, so I just started using it to my advantage.
Man, that YouTube, that's powerful. Yeah. And I see like you're doing little interviews. I saw you on Hell Rel.
Oh yeah, Hell Rel.
Live,
yeah,
on Instagram
shout out
live.
to Hell Rel, man. Yeah, shout out to Rel, man. I made a video about him. I should have did. I'm apologizing to everybody I did a video about, actually. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like the feeling. I don't like that type of energy. I'm on some different energy now.
Well, that's cool, man. So what you got? What's up? What you got going on right now that we don't know about or nobody else know about that you want to put out there, man?
Oh, I got my website, Season of Concrete. I published a book. One of my artists, he came home like four years ago. His name is El Javon. He came out. He wrote a book, and then when he gave me the book, I was like, it was already in transcript, but I read it and I was like, this dude stole it, because when you're in prison, the dude in prison read everything, and he know good authors. When he reads somebody, he know a good author. So I was at a stage in my life where I couldn't read fictional books like the Triple Crown books about the hood. I was reading all spiritual books. It was helping me grow. Right. So my spirit was rejecting anything like was fictional, but this book was different. It was like, yo, it's like, this dude must have stole it because he was so talented, and I was like, wow, I think he might be like a genius writing. So I published a book called Season of Concrete, and it's out there right now.
What's it about?
It's about a love story, about transition, about transformation, about loving one woman. It's about women loving herself, teaching a man how to love her. You know what I'm saying? It's about triumph, about it's a mixture of comedy and drama and suspense. You got to check it. Season of Concrete, the website. Right. The book is a page turner. I wouldn't tell you no lie, man. Word.
Do you go around like guest speaking to different places like?
Yeah, I was at a certain point, but I had to start working two jobs to support my kids. Right. So it took away from a lot of public speaking in the schools, because when I didn't have to work two jobs, I used to go to the schools, and one time I was working with actually Shandu. Shandu had a contract with the schools, the DOE, and we used to go in the schools and we used to not preach, but talk. Yeah. Go to Rikers Island, go all the facilities, go to the NSDs, the foster care system, go to the non-secure detentions, go in there because the foster care. Shout out to the foster care system. That's a pipeline to the jails, along with the schools. So shout out to all of that. I agree. They all they working like this, a system to drive us. They institutionalize it real quick. They make it resemble prison before you even. So they prep you before you even go to prison.
So the Blood Chronicles, can you tell us some more about that?
Blood Chronicles is a documentary with reenactments of the things I was going through in prison. A lot of documentation of the mental things I was suffering from while I was in solitary, the restraints, like getting. I don't think nobody can realize, like, once you go into a system and you become part of something, the things that come with it, the bad things I was focusing on. So the Blood Chronicles is showing things of, at the time, my wife, what she was going through when I was forcing her to bring the razors, the drugs, you know what I'm saying? Like the pressure I used to put her under, like on the visits, like, yo, bring them fuck, you know what I'm saying? That type, and then what she was going through, and I used to think about it like, damn, yo, I made her do that, like,
did she risk her life?
Nah, we're not together. Okay. So I feel bad.
Do you talk to her sometime, or is it over?
Yeah, I speak to her all the time. She's in a documentary. She's giving her she's testimony. She's testifying.
Right.
So it was deep, you know what I'm saying? My mom's, she testifying to when she used to have to see me eating with them chains on. You know, when you be upstate and you go to the box, when you get up there at first, you on level 1, so you gotta, if they visit you, you gotta be in chains. And you gotta be behind gates and like plexiglass or whatever's in the facility. And you gotta eat like that. It ain't no coming out of that at that time. And it feels like you was a slave, like it feels horrible. And your mom seen you like that, that's the horrible feeling, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So how does it feel like now, you know, you working, you got 2 jobs, paying taxes, you ain't gotta look over your shoulder. You ain't gotta work, you're not involved with nothing but you down with God now. How you feel as a person now, opposed to you gotta put in work, go to the box to get out of population, you know?
I was feeling good. I feel good now, but I still feel nervous as being a black man. You know what I'm saying? Even though I came out of prison and I've been chilling for like 13 years and I haven't been in the system until recently. Till recently I got arrested, right? And I promised myself, I vowed never to go back to prison, right? And you know what I went back to prison for?
Yeah, you're telling me. Go ahead.
I got locked up for failure to take child support the other day, and it was a mistake on their behalf.
Wrong. But all them feelings come back.
They said, yeah,
Mistake on their behalf.
They said I was driving while my license was suspended. Now, they made the mistake. It wasn't my fault. I went down there, they was like, oh, this what happened. You switched jobs, and this happened. Some technical thing, right?
Yeah.
So the police, look what could have happened. The police pulled me over. And I'm like, I'm legit, so I got an attitude with them. I'm like, yo, what's up? What I do?
Yeah.
They like, whatever. Let me see your license and registration. They going through their spiel. So they get all my information. Now I'm like, I'm mad. I'm ready. I'm trying to get to my second job. Speeding. Like, not speeding, but going in the parking lane. So they take the ID. They come back. Step out the car. Now they're aggressive. They get ready to lock me up. So now I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. So now if I'd have matched the aggression, they pulling their guns out. I could have been dead over it. You know what I'm saying? So went through the system for it, smelling the bullpen, smelling pee, smelling how it smells in there. Like, it sent me through like, oh my God, like anxiety. I'm like, damn, I'm bugging. I can't believe I'm back in here. You know what I'm saying?
For bullshit.
For some BS.
Did you have any mentors when you were in jail to help you cope with everything you was going through?
Yeah, I had a few. I had one brother named Farmer, rest in peace to Farmer. We used to lock next to each other in the cell. I had a couple of brothers that passed away. Shout out to Robo Just. We used to be in the cell together for a few months together, like talking a lot about a lot of certain things. I had a few. Cold Pepper. I had a few mentors that was in prison with me. It's a lot of intelligent, wise brothers in there. And then, you know, a shout out to all the people that's never coming home, like all my brothers that never going to get out. Like, I always never wanted to feel like that.
Yeah, you got 100 years.
And they got to adapt to that.
Yeah.
That's their home for the rest of their life. Shout out to them.
Wow. So what's next for OG Stack? What's next for you, man?
Right now, I've got the Blood Chronicles coming out. I got my podcast Motion. Y'all could subscribe to my podcast channel, Stakkstone Reality Show. I got some real good guests coming up, man. I'm surprising some people with some guests that I got. Some legends from the music industry. So I'm getting away from, you know, the gang stuff. I'm more focused on, you know, progression and
changing the topics pretty much.
Yeah,
right?
a lot of the things that my son doing, I want to get down with what he's doing. I come out and support his movements wherever he's at.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Brothers coming together, man.
Yeah, well, that's what we're supposed to do. That's why the love movement is so essential for me, because I come with love first. Everybody know me for being a love dude. You know what I'm saying? I could be aggressive if it's necessary. I match the situation.
Right.
But I don't need to. I come with love first because it's love. You know what I'm saying? I love you. You my brother. I love you.
Yeah,
I genuinely love black people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love my people.
Yeah. Enough is enough, though. You know
Facts,
what I'm saying?
it's
Come
enough,
on.
man.
We're getting older, man. Come on, man.
It is, and it's
You know
good
what I'm
to share the experience to uplift, you know, because sometimes when you are in incarcerated and you go through all that pain, you feel like it's no way out, you know, but there is always a way out, and long as you believe in yourself, you can always change to be that person who you are, and you don't have to let nobody tell you different, you know? Every day is a new day. It's a new start.
And not only that,
That's a
though,
blessing.
sometimes when, like he's saying, like my son said, you know, when they went in on some, I'm trying to get out, I'm trying to get bailed out. I don't want to flip my switch into this jail thing. I'm going to call. They said my bail 1,502 G's. I'm going to make these calls and try to get out of here. I don't want to be here. I'm going to try. But then everybody, they don't want to pick up the phone because the phone is collect, or they telling me they got me, they don't have me. After a certain time, they going to bust you out of here from Manhattan detention or Bronx detention or Brooklyn detention. You going to the island. The island is real. So when you get that bedroll and you get that toothbrush and you go upstairs and you go in these units and these dudes is on some, everybody already in their little, wherever they in the Bloods or the Crips, Latin Kings and the Yatas, wherever they at, they somewhere and you the only one coming in. You neutral. Yo, you know him? Yo, you know him? Nah. Now you like this. You like you in the jungle with no gun, with a bunch of wild animals. What you gonna do? Now you gotta flip that switch. Now you gotta get right. Because if you don't get right, you gonna get dealt with. And now you gonna get right, you go to the box and now the saga continues. You know what I'm saying? And then you keep getting in more and more trouble, and you ain't really wanna be on that type of time. But you ain't gonna let nobody handle you. So now you gotta man up. And then it goes on and it goes on, and it's like, you know, now you come home, you got your mind right, now you giving back, and that's the right thing to do, to give back.
What platform your podcast on?
It's on YouTube.
On YouTube? Okay.
Yeah, I want you to support this brother. This brother right here doing some big things.
Yeah.
He lived a hell of a life, man. And, you know, I got touched by this interview right now.
Yeah.
I got touched by
Definitely.
my son interview a little while ago. You some real stories. It's the Beat 139. You know, tell everybody your links, man, before we, you know, we
You can
move
follow
on.
me on Instagram at Stakkstone, STAKKSTONE, and same thing with Facebook and on YouTube, the Stakkstone Reality Show. That's it.
Yeah, I definitely got to support that show. I liked a couple interviews you did, so I support it.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
And Stack, tell them what podcast you on today.
I'm on Beat 139.
There it is.
Yeah.
Stakkstone.
Don't go away,
Support
people.
this,
In a couple minutes, Stack gonna do his post interview. We're gonna come back with Rudy Lowe from the Low Lights.
That's right. B139. Let's do it.